You know what I always find strange? Well, I see videos of how devs got 30 f***ing microphones surrounding all types of cars to get the most authentic and real sound. But then you hear it, and it sounds like... What the f*** is going wrong here? You have all the sound you needed, a wide range of cars, the latest technology, and a huge team, and it still sounds like shit. Well, this issue gets me very curious, and I'm no sound engineer or whatever you call it, but I do want to understand why this is happening as a passionate sim racer. And it wasn't always like this. If you like racing games, which you probably do, then both me and you know that there are many games that sound absolutely fucking glorious. Just listen to some games that done it right. So now let me ask you a question. Here are two games with the same car. Tell me which one you think sounds better. But honestly, the answer to that may be quite subjective. You see, you have two things that I think a car needs to have good car sounds: accuracy and soul. What do I mean by those? Accuracy just meaning how close the car in game sounds to the actual car in real life. Does a V8 actually sound like a V8? Does the exhaust replicate how the exhaust sounds in the real car? Making sure the sounds are not just copy and pasted to other cars so that a fucking Focus does not sound like an LFA. And soul means the raw bass, the crackles, the echo, the volume. You don't want a car to feel flat, you want to actually feel the engine as you blast it down the straight of the Nürburgring. And there are some details that all enhance car sound, like when you're around buildings and hearing the engine echo around, or hearing that brutal transmission whine. Okay, so now that we know what we are looking for in car sounds, let's find out how... Racing games won't just simulate an actual engine to replicate the sound, and by that I mean each individual piston or the internal components. But on YouTube, this has been proved with this excellent realistic engine that a physically realistic engine simulation can generate some of the best audio. The reason for this is because engines sound different based on their state. For example, an engine at low revs will sound different to when you are near the red line. Take this real life engine for example. You can hear the difference from the low revs to higher revs. It has more of a flat sound profile at the lower revs and becomes more growly when it reaches the higher revs. The point I'm trying to make is that engines do not make one sound profile. They have many different factors that influence it. It's not like they have one sound and the pitch just changes based on your revs. There are more layers to it. So what are most games doing to produce car sound? There are 3 key skill sets that achieve the results we see today: recording, editing, and implementation. Every studio will approach this differently, and on top of that, each skill set can either make or break the result. When it comes to recording, I've seen a few methods with different studios. Some decide to record the car in a dyno and fit microphones around the car, such as the exhaust, the bonnet, etc. I've also seen microphones strapped onto cars and then driven down a runway. A slightly controversial opinion, but getting a can and making sounds of your mouth. Even Danny did this while making his racing game. When it comes to processing the sounds, I have seen 2 main methods so far, which are cross-faded loops and granular synthesis, and to get the most realistic engine sound, you need to use both of these techniques. Crossfaded loops involve blending multiple samples of an engine at different RPMs. The sound does not just switch instantly to the next loop, it transitions smoothly by fading in the next loop and fading out the old loop. Due to the smooth transitions, you won't get weird cutouts or pitch changes when you change gears or accelerate and brake quickly. It's also very commonly used on simulation games. An example of a game that uses crossfaded loops is Assetto Corsa. If I drive this car, listen carefully if you can hear the fading of each loop as I drive faster. If you cannot hear it, then it's probably because the transitions are so smooth you cannot distinguish the individual loops, or maybe you have terrible f***ing hearing. Granular synthesis is the process of chopping a sample into many bits. Then each of those bits can be played at different lengths, pitch and order. Those snippets can be tuned based on how an engine revs up and down. So this method just allows the snippets to match with whatever RPM your engine is at. An example of a game that uses granular synthesis is Forza Horizon 5. Take a listen to this car. That is pretty good, but now I want to take your attention to the predecessor, Forza Horizon 4, and now take a listen to this. Absolutely shit. And I tried to research if they use granular synthesis for Forza Horizon 4, but I genuinely couldn't find anything. What made them listen to that and think, "F yeah, that sounds just like it"? But this video I'm about to show you is kind of the opposite, which is the team getting the sounds for Forza Motorsport 4.
Every car is different, and we'll spend some time walking around the car at first, what the sounds are that really capture the sound of that car, and then we'll position multiple microphones on each of those sources. Car sourcing is crucial for every car in the game. The lower end cars in the game are just as important to us as the high end cars.
Hear that? The video says important for all cars, even lower end, to sound good. This is a super important point to make. Car sounds is what connects you with the car. If you own the car, you will know that sound, and to hear that same sound in the game will further connect you with your car. The hard part is making every car in a game sound like it does in real life, but if it does not even come close to how it sounds like, then immediately immersion is broken. Okay, so now that I have an idea of what goes into making car sounds, what are my final thoughts? Well, it's safe to say that a lot of car games will have those few cars that sound absolutely incredible, and some cars that sound fucking. But it has also become apparent that just because a studio can record the sound of a car does not mean that it will exactly translate to the sound in the game. If processing has been done incorrectly, then the sound will just come out synthetic and weird. Some people might just not like the sound of a car, and some people will, and devs are not always going to get it 100% right. But making sure that we are heard and there are improvements in a game with bad sounds shows that the developers want to make it better rather than just be lazy and copy and paste more sounds or just not make it a priority. For me, that is truly what matters, that there is care in the sounds, because then the results will follow. I play a few sims, and there are not many times where I feel like, oh, this car sounds like shit, but I do sometimes think, oh, this could sound a bit better. And it's about taking games that have achieved a great sound and bringing all those elements together for future games. I have high hopes for what we could see in the future. Anyways, I know this was quite a lot of random information, but I do want to point out again that I do not have any experience in sound design. I've just studied game dev and I like racing games, and these are just my opinions, which you may absolutely disagree with, and I would like to know your thoughts in the comments. Especially if I did get something wrong with my information, then please let me know, because I want to learn with you guys, and because honestly this topic in general is just really interesting. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and stay tuned for loads more racing content to come soon. Take care.